Hey guys, it's Selena and James
What up,
here,
what up?
and we are with Spiritual Journey Podcast.
Yes, we are.
Now, if you guys listened in to our previous podcast, we did talk about our personal experience with the spiritual, supernatural world. If you guys have any stories like that at all, if it's your own or someone else's story, just comment below or message us and we can talk a little bit more about these experiences.
Yeah, please don't be shy. Sorry to cut you off there, Selena, but please
No,
don't be
you're
shy.
fine.
The whole thing about this is that it's to help us get together and understand more about the spiritual world. And then we have, like Selena and myself, had a lot of experiences that maybe we can share and get you guys to understand that this is an okay thing to think that, you know, you're not losing your mind. This is what we want to let you know, and we want to guide you so that you don't actually lose your mind. So this is what the podcast is about. So don't be shy. Message us. Like the page and follow us so that you can see other videos that maybe explain the same thing you guys are going through right now.
Exactly. I mean, share our posts and our page as well, so other people can share their experiences. But today we are going to tell you guys a story. It has to do with dreams and how dreams can help us communicate with the spiritual world, or how the spiritual world can connect to us.
Right.
Now, everyone has
dreams.
Some people may tell you that they don't have dreams. They actually do. They just don't remember them.
Right.
You can find this out in psychology. Read some articles up on about dreams. Everyone has dreams, and everyone actually has an average of 6 dreams per night. Again, you may not remember them, but you do have an average of 6 dreams per night.
Right, and a lot of these dreams, what really tells you about, sometimes spirits are actually trying to connect with us, and then they're trying to tell us more about what's going on, or something about yourself, or trying to tell, your inner, your guardian is actually trying to tell you about what's going on with you, or if you're stressed. I mean, that explains all that. Just what dreams are meant to do, to express yourself and to interpret them as really can help you and help you guys grow as a spiritual, together in the inner self.
Yeah, so our stories will actually give you a better idea of what James just mentioned. So this dream is not my dream. It is my friend's mom's dream. My friend's mom had a dream where someone was standing at the foot of her bed. And again, that's one of the scariest dreams that you could have, is someone just standing at the foot of your bed. Well, this spirit was actually tugging on her feet, so she was already freaking out. So when she woke up in her dream, not in reality, she saw the spirit tugging at her feet and saying, "Mom, Mom, help me, I'm drowning." She had no idea what this dream meant. But the next day, she did talk to one of her family members, and they started talking about this dream, and somehow they ended up connecting it to possibly it being her infant who passed away 25 years ago. So with that being said, this is an infant that she had that passed away. So the person that she saw in her dream was not an infant. This is why she couldn't make that connection. This is what we're talking about when you have to learn how to interpret these dreams, because spirits can grow. So that's probably what she saw was her son, but he was already grown as a spirit. Anyways, they ended up going to his grave and finding out that it was flooding. How crazy is that? Like,
dang.
There's no way, that they would even think about his grave flooding.
Right.
And they go to the place after her having that dream, and it ended up flooding. So they ended up having to dig his grave up and moving him.
Right, and she's half across the world too, right? Is what you mentioned?
Yeah. So he's in Asia. She now lives in the States in the U.S. now.
Right. So I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about, right? Is that spirits that need help, especially your loved ones, will contact you through your dreams.
Exactly.
So don't take your dreams lightly.
You have to know how to interpret them.
Right. I mean, that's a really great story, Selena. I mean, that's something that I think everybody needs to hear. But my story here is kind of really just to reinforce that same idea here, is that spirits actually, try to contact you when they need help or if you need guidance to what needs to happen. So whatever is happening in your life at that moment. So in my story is my mother-in-law has 4 sisters. Her older sister, and then she has another second older sister. So then it becomes my mother-in-law, and then she has another sister. Well, the second sister passed away when she was 10 from a fever. And what happened is that 5 years ago, they had to go find her grave. Because in Asia, back in those days, they just kind of buried her. And, things happened, war and a bunch of things. They had to get out. So now they had to go back and find the grave because that place is being demolished and they're building a shopping mall or something like that. So my mother-in-law went back and tried to find him, and trying to figure out what spot was she buried. Well, that's difficult.
Did they not have like a significant like landmark or something, like a tree that they buried her by?
Well, ideally that's what they were trying to find. Was they were thinking they were going to be next to a little something little boulder or a tree, and she couldn't find anything. It was just completely plain. The plain was just completely flat. And other people were in there digging their graves up too, just to make sure they move in the right direction.
So everyone was there trying to find their family members.
Right. So when they were trying to dig them up, they try to find little small coffins, so they know it's a little girl. Couldn't find her. So the older sister, she had a dream. She had dreamed that in the front of her bed there was a little girl, red dress, pointing at a tree. And the tree next to it was a boulder. And then she woke up. Well, she told my mother-in-law, she said, "Did you not see a tree or a boulder or anything like that?" And my mother-in-law was like, "I didn't see anything. I mean, you probably just dreamed, but I'll go back out there and check," is what she told her. So she went back out there and checked. There it was, a tree and a boulder. I mean, it was just fascinating.
Where is that when she was there, everything was flat. There was no tree. There was no nothing.
Nothing. But now she goes back into there was a tree and a boulder. I mean, you can't just. I can imagine the boulder just come out of nowhere because somebody can just actually put it there. But even when you're
doing construction or something, yeah.
Right, but the tree.
Like the tree?
Right. Yeah. So they dug up the grave, and then they checked, and they saw a little coffin. Opened the coffin up, and there was the girl. The girl was wearing a red dress, so they knew it was her. So they did what they needed to do. They took her to a better burial ground, and then they did what they needed to do. Well, again, the story here is that the spirit of the sister contacted her to help her find where she was really at. They knew. So what they not only that she made an illusion so that no one could see where her dig up her grave, but she wanted to make sure her family was the one that dug up her grave, not a stranger. Because anyone else could have picked. Yeah. Actually, everybody else is looking for a family, and it could be a girl, and they could have actually picked her. And they know. She knows that it needs to be her family. So you see how that right there is your dreams is something, not to be ignored. So learn how to decipher it is a hard thing, but there are experts out there that actually decipher dreams.
Exactly.
But
now we're not experts or anything, but we can give you some guidance or some of our opinions, and you can, maybe that can help you out as well.
Right, and then do your own research and see if that may be true. And the thing is that we have a lot of experience that with other stories we have heard and actually had experience with that actually may be able to help you and guide you where you need to be. And then if it didn't help, we at least talked about it, had some fun, and then if it really is something that you're serious about, we can probably help you with a professional. So again, dreams are something that do not be ignored, and there's a bunch of dreams that Selena and myself have that actually led them to a whole different, sometimes scary, sometimes actually, oh my gosh, that, it actually was true.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but listening to these two stories about like passed on lives, connecting with their family members, I had the chills the whole time.
Yeah, and it's just somebody tugging my leg. I don't know how I feel, even if it was my family member.
I mean, I'm there with you.
Right. So our next topic here is something that actually brings in a little bit same thing about dreams, but actually comes in a little more spirits. Selena had some stories that she wanted to share with us in our next episode.
Yeah, so before we actually started this, James and I were just talking, and we mentioned that in our next podcast, we were going to talk more about this dream that I had. I used to have this dream where this mannequin would be chasing me with a knife. I used to have that dream all the time. So one of the things about that we're going to talk about more into depth is spirits can linger on, not necessarily just in thin air, but also in objects as well.
Right.
So mannequins, dolls, anything like that.
Right. So we'll talk a lot more about it and actually explain a lot about spirits and, an animate object. I mean, as far as dolls and, there's a lot of things that you guys may not actually realize that actually does that. So stay tuned for next episode.
It's going to be something similar to that.
Right. So next episode, stay tuned. Love you guys.
Next week, you guys.
Right. So you guys like and share our post, and we'll see you next week.